Hello, everyone. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Anthony. How you doing?
Hey.
Y'all ready for this repeat?
We're ready. I'm ready. Tanya, you ready?
A repeat of the heat. You're muted, Tanya. The world can't hear you.
We had such an awesome show last week. It was just, we had to come back and do a repeat. So, yes, I am ready.
Take two.
Take two. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone out there, and welcome to your show, because this is your show, The Financial Sins, the new podcast on the All Things Relevant media platform, guys. Hey, we're excited about you joining in the conversation every Friday. So make sure you join in the conversation. You can always send us a question or a comment in the comment post section off of the Facebook page there, because this is Facebook Live. So we're going to be here every Friday. Looking forward to having a conversation with you right here on All Things Relevant Media on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Mad Flo. I'm not crazy. That's what it says right here, Mad Flo, believe it or not. But I'm not crazy, guys. I am just making a difference for life and others. My name is Florence Glover, but please call me Mad Flo, because I want to be able to make a difference in your life. And guess what? Tanya and Anthony, we're here doing the same thing, making a difference in the lives of others. I'm just making a difference for life. I'll be joined weekly by two absolutely awesome hosts as well. Tanya Scott Pilcher, and look at Anthony. Yeah, you're awesome. And also Anthony Murray. I'll tell you a little bit about me. This is Mad Flo again. I used to be a police officer, retired in 2007, did 25 years on the force, enjoyed it. But then again, I planned everything out so I will be able to retire at an earlier age. I didn't retire at 65. You're probably wondering how old is this young lady is right now? But, I look young, but I'm old. But I have three awesome husbands, three fabulous, beautiful daughters, and three absolutely fabulous, active grandchildren that just keeps me busy. Love them to death. What do I do full time? I am a financial educator, but by all means, what we do is we teach people how to understand their money. At the same time, if you need a solution, I'm also a licensed insurance agent. So I'm a certified instructor as well as a licensed insurance agent in the state of Georgia, plus other states as well. Love doing this business, which is called World System Builder, which is the division of World Financial Group. You learn more if you want to contact me, just do so. My information will be flowing through here. You'll be able to see it later on. But let's get with our other awesome hosts that we have here, Tanya Scott Pilcher, and then of course Anthony, who holds his heart when I say he is so awesome, and he's awesome.
All right, I am Tanya Scott Pilcher. I'm with Get Skills. I have a state certified insurance business that does the pre-licensing courses for the state of Georgia. If people are interested in getting their life, health, and very soon property and casualty license. So what we do is that we help people establish a new career in a $1 trillion industry so that they can actually live their dreams. And we do this by giving you the professional development, the training, and the coaching that you need to be successful. This will help you to reach your full potential in the $1 trillion industry. in the past several months, we have been working with several people in the state of Georgia and in the Savannah area, helping to get them to their first step of financial freedom. And I invite each of you to reach out and, if you want to change your life and change your goals and change your income, that here at Get Skills, we can help you do that. Again, what Mad Flo said is that all of us are licensed insurance agents and we are making a difference. Of course, I have a wonderful husband and 2 fabulous children. All of us are in the insurance industry. And of course, my 14-year-old, she's hating it, but there's no telling what her future will be. But, we're training her up. And I am also I am also a homeschool mom for my 14-year-old, which is another part of why I enjoy this insurance business, because it allows me the freedom to take care and give her the education that she needs from home. So that's all about me. I'd like to introduce you guys to Anthony Murray.
Hey guys, look, you ladies are awesome. I don't know how to say anything after that, but I'll just introduce myself anyway. My name's Anthony Murray. As you see, my little name tag there. All right, I've majored in insurance and real estate. That was my college major. Entered into the field back in 1980. With Mutual of Omaha, did a short stint with them. Almost sound like I went to the military, right? Did a short stint with them, and then from there did another stint with Edward Jones, and now I'm with World System Builder, who's owned by World Financial Group. They're the baby of World Financial Group. The parent company of World System Builder, World Financial Group, is Transamerica. So if you're not familiar with World Financial Group and World System Builder, you may be familiar with Transamerica. They've been around for 100 plus years. So that's a good thing. So we have some longevity and some serious roots deep down in. And as Flo, as well as Tanya said, we are all licensed professionals. What does that mean? That means when you sit down with us, we at least try to know what we're talking about. All right. we try to make it sound good. No, in essence, we have to know what we're talking about, or we're not supposed to talk about it.
That's
so
right.
When we sit down with someone, we have to, especially if they want a solution, they want some insurance, in other words, for an annuity, there's certain questions we have to ask because the law requires that we make sure that a person could afford what they're asking us for. They want to buy something, we have to make sure they can afford it. So we do a financial analysis. And I've mentioned this before when we was talking about insurance, and we're going to talk about insurance probably for another week. Maybe not annuities, but definitely insurance. You need to have annually a financial checkup, just like you go to the doctor, a financial checkup. You go to the doctor, get a physical or medical checkup annually. Well, you need to do the same thing with your finances because circumstances change. Truth will always remain the same, but facts, they change. The fact is right now we're all together, but in around an hour, we'll all be going our separate ways. See, that fact will change. So facts change, marriages change, children grow up, or somebody's single, then they get married, and now all of a sudden you need to change them. So we need to look at everything at least annually and make sure that everything's up to stuff. Give you a good example. I spoke with somebody not long ago who have an insurance policy. It's an old one, but it was only $5,000. That was it. So we had to add to that. Why? Because the cost of life insurance is is a lot more. I mean, the cost for burial today is more than 5,000. All right. It's more than 5,000, unless you got a real good friend or you're using somebody's backyard or something. But, you can't do that. That's illegal, right? You can't use no one's backyard. But if you have a real good friend that owns a plot or a cemetery, then they might do it for you, do you a fast solid. But we're going to talk about annuities and retirement again. And we have a guest. His name is Blake Grant. He is the regional vice president for the company that he's with, AMS. Blake, it's so good to have you with us. And what we want to do, Blake, we want you to tell us a little bit about your company. All right. And then we're going to go right into it. I think last time I cut you off when you were getting ready to tell us. I got too excited. I'm sorry about that. But we will be talking about annuities and retirement. So, folks, I want you to do something. Call your friends. Write down your questions. Get ready, because we're going to have questions. Myself, Tanya, and Matt Flo, we're going to have questions. All right. But this show, like Matt Flo said, is your show. So call your friends, call your neighbors, call your enemy, call your pastor, call everybody. Let's get this thing rolling, rocking and rolling, and let's get these lines fired up. Blake, tell us some more about yourself and about the company that you're with.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all having me back on. Really enjoyed it last week. It's an honor to be back, to be asked to be back. So I don't remember you cutting me off at all. I had a great time. So, but I will share a little bit about me, about AMS. And as Anthony mentioned, my name is Blake Grant. I am the regional vice president with a company called AMS Financial Solutions Group. And we work with various financial partners throughout the country. I happen to cover most of the Deep South. So I cover Georgia, I cover Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, and most of Louisiana. And we work with folks like Mad Flo, Tanya, and Anthony on really as consultants. We work with them to try to find out what the best solution is that we offer that's going to fit you. We don't come at it with just, here's our product, square pegs, round holes, that kind of thing. We really want to work with our partners to make sure that they're offering and presenting the best solution for you and your family. And obviously that means everybody's a little bit different. So one size doesn't fit all. And as I've told these folks before and the people I work with, look, if I don't have the right fit or the best fit, I will tell you that. And so I think whenever you're working with your advisors here, when they make a recommendation, when they make a presentation to you, just have trust and faith that they are putting in front of you the best options that they have available. Not just because they're not just putting my solutions out there just because maybe they think I'm a nice guy or something like that. It's going to be what's best for you. And I've been successful in this business about 20 plus years by telling people when we win, being honest about that, but also letting folks know when we don't win. And to me, that's a short-term loss, but that's a long-term gain because I don't want the people I work with to have their clients come back to them, in a year, 2 years, 3 years and say, hey, why did we do this? Like this wasn't the right fit. Did you not understand what I needed? So understand that you are getting the best of the best from the team you have here. And obviously I'm going to do my best to work with them to offer you solutions. And the types of solutions we work with, primarily annuities, fixed and indexed annuities. We do also offer some life insurance solutions through AMS. And they also have some variable annuities and what they call structured or variable indexed annuities. So I don't know if that's the direction we're going to go today, but I'm wide open. So y'all let me know what we need to hear about and where we want to take the conversation.
Hey, Blake, let me ask you something real quick. How many companies does AMS represent?
So with you all, with World Financial Group, we represent five or six different companies, and that'll be again, that's covering all the space, right? Life insurance, fixed index annuities, structured annuities, and then the variable annuities. So we work with you all with 6 different companies, but then I work with other carriers and other partners. I work with some banks where we have a completely different lineup. So not only am I able to give you all advice on the things you can sell, but I can also let you know in a lot of cases, what's going on out there elsewhere where maybe some of your clients have their assets too. So I can speak fairly educatedly I don't know that educatedly is actually a word, but
Well, it is now.
but I just made it one, so we'll work with that. But at least I can give you all some insight too into the competitive landscape as well.
Okay. But Blake, I have one important question that I really need you to answer.
Oh no, pressure.
Okay. It ain't a hard question, but what was that tag name or nickname the group gave you last week? Do you remember?
Mighty Blake.
Oh, there's somebody remembered.
What was it called?
That went over real well in my household. So I appreciate that. Whoever gave me that tag, thank you.
Okay, Mighty Blake. That's what we got on here. Mighty
We've
Blake.
had some fun with that this week at the Grant House. Trust me.
It did. Hey, I want to ask a serious question now. Could you kind of recap just a few things? And what I want you to recap on is understanding the difference between the immediate annuity and the deferred annuity. I talked to someone earlier this week. Earlier this week, and they wanted to know, definitely get a better understanding. They'll be on the show today. Immediate and deferred annuity. So you can recap on that for us real quick.
Absolutely. Yeah. So an immediate annuity is really what it says it is. It means you are annuitizing, or you're going to take that income stream. And that's what an annuity ultimately is designed to do, is to provide income. When you annuitize something, it means you're turning it into an income stream, right? Or think of it like a pension. So an immediate annuity means I've got a lump sum of money. I am going to purchase an immediate annuity with that lump sum. And based on my life expectancy, that insurance company is then going to pay me out monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, however you choose, based on my age, life expectancy, gender, all that good stuff. And they're going to give me a paycheck for as long as I live. So we're basically turning that income on that immediately, right, within the first year. That is generally used. Those are generally used for folks who are looking to fund life insurance policies, long-term care policies, that sort of thing. You do find it just being used for simple, just, hey, I want to generate X amount of income. But what we found over the years is people have assets that take care of those things. But the great thing about an immediate annuity is it gives you that income stream that you'll never run out. But if it's non-qualified money, it's also giving you some of that income back in the form of a taxable income stream. Some of that is taxable, but a good amount of it in most cases isn't. And so you help spread out, some of those tax efficiencies over the course of your life. You can get that payment for your whole life, where it means it'll pay until you pass away and then it stops. You can set it up with what they call period certains, meaning, hey, I'm going to do this I'm going to get paid on this, from, let's say, life with 10, which means it'll pay the longer of 10 years or your life expectancy. So unfortunately, if somebody passes away within the first 5, 6, 7 years, you at least know that that check will continue until that 10-year mark. If they live beyond 10 years, we're going to pay again for until they pass away. So for their entire life. So there's really different ways to structure those in terms of the payouts. That's an immediate annuity. A deferred annuity basically means I'm deferring my income or my access to that money for X amount of time. That's where you talk about your fixed annuities, your fixed indexed annuities, variables, structured annuities, meaning I don't plan on turning this into income or using this money for at least 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, or maybe beyond. And what you allow that money to do, and I think we touched on this last week, is it also grows tax deferred. So when we say a deferred annuity, it means I don't need this money right now. I'm deferring my access to it. I'm going to let this money grow and compound on itself without having to pay Uncle Sam any taxes on my earnings on an annual basis. So really, it's an immediate, I need it now. Deferred, I've got some waiting time. We're going to let this thing simmer and grow.
Okay. On immediate, one other question on immediate. If they open up the immediate today, what's the earliest they can take it out? Because I heard you say up to a year, but what's the earliest if they can take it out?
Generally speaking, 30 days, right? So that's why I say you can structure payments with most immediate annuity providers to pay you monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. So if you were set up on a monthly pay, they'll start those payments within 30 days, at about 30 days of issue. If it's quarterly, it'll be 3 months from then. If it's semi-annually, that first payment will start 6 months from then, and so forth.
Okay.
Great question.
And
This
part
is
of what
extremely valuable. Go right ahead. Go right ahead, Tanya.
And part of what we talked about last week was, can you tell someone how to get started, especially if they are maybe late 50s, not 60 yet, but a little further up, and they did not do exactly what they were supposed to in order to prepare for retirement. How much can they put in, and if they need that money, and so forth.
Yeah, and obviously for folks like that, and really for anybody, the first thing you need to do is talk to one of these folks right here. You need to go talk to a financial professional, because they are going to steer you in the right direction. Because again, we're talking about annuities and different types of annuities, but not, there again, I mentioned at the top, there is no one size fits all. Everybody's situation is unique. And that's why I really encourage y'all to reach out to these folks, because what I do hear a lot in my travels is, I'm in a certain situation. Well, oh, my neighbor did this, so I want to do the same thing, right? Well, you and your neighbor may have two completely different lifestyles, needs, assets, risk tolerance, all that kind of stuff. So just because your neighbor or your barber or your landscaper or whoever it may be, says this is what you should do, you still need to go talk to a professional. That's what they do day in and day out. They're going to be able to assess what your real needs are. And sometimes you may not want to hear it, but I know they're going to tell you the truth. And sometimes that's what we need, is just to hear the truth. This is where, this is where we are. This is as much as we've saved so far. And these are our options and opportunities going forward. But the very first thing they need to do is to reach out to one of you or somebody like y'all in their area.
Hey, Blake, let me ask you a quick question. Well, before I ask you the question, folks, I want you to do something. You're watching us. You see this little gadget is called a cell phone, all right? A mobile phone. Text your friends. Get them on here right now. They need to hear this, especially those that are aggressively pursuing retirement planning. All right. With that said, Blake, how many companies, or do you have a company that have a minimum opening deposit of, say, $5,000?
Yeah. Unfortunately, with us, we don't. I believe our minimums with you all are going to be 10,000. It's going to be
Okay.
10 to about 20 or 25,000. And again, we've got a few different partners we work with, a few different insurance companies, so that will change by partner. But to my knowledge, I don't think, unfortunately, we go as low as 5,000. And again, for a lot of people, that's not low, but so they understand it. There is a kind of cost of doing business. So those insurance companies set those minimums. Because they want to make sure they can make their payouts to their clients, now and in the future. So we do have to have, some minimums along those lines. But there are companies out there. Let me make sure I'm clear. Just because AMS and Blake Grant don't have it, it doesn't mean they're not out there for you all to utilize. It just means, unfortunately, I don't work with anybody below 10,000. Yes, sir.
Right. One of my carriers, they do offer that. And so I just wanted to see if you guys had it. But folks, I want to make sure that you understand that this information that Blake has given us is invaluable. I hope you folks are taking notes. You have notebooks. They are really invaluable. Now, with World System Builder, we do offer workshops free Monday through Sunday or Monday through Monday. All right. Monday through Thursday, we have them at 2 and 8 in the afternoon and evening. And then Friday, there's 2, and then 1 at 10 p.m. for the late nighters. Then Saturday, we have them in the morning, and Sunday, I don't know what time they are, just sometime during the day. But listen, we have workshops all the time, and they're free. Did I say free? Free. Online free. All right. All you have to do is get the information. You get the information from myself or from Flo. But now, if you are interested in taking classes in insurance, Tanya, raise your hand. That young lady right there has an insurance school. Now, I know y'all don't like to hear the word school. All right. So let me just say that she offers classes. at a price without.
You know, the insurance industry, again, is $1 trillion industry. And so, and, you know, you should take the opportunity to get a career in it because it's only 40 hours. You know, that's basically 4 days, you know, to take a class and to change your life and to change your income. So it is definitely a career where you'll never, ever have to ask anybody for a job. You'll have people looking for you. So yes, our very next class is scheduled for June 19th through June 19th and 20th, and 26th, 27th. We do them on Saturday and Sundays on the weekends, so that people don't have an excuse on why they can't, you know, change their life, because this is a Saturday and Sunday when most people aren't working. And, you know, we are doing it, and we've had everyone that has taken the classes with us since January. We are now at 100% passing rate. So we're very proud of that. Yes.
Man, that's powerful.
That's wonderful.
Yes, at a 100% passing rate. And so it's a pretty good feeling for the school. And, you know, we're excited about what people are going to do next. But going back to Blake, we had some folks that called and asked questions, and, you know, tried to get them to go back to the show. And I told them that you're going to be here today. And they wanted to know, and it was a question that we asked last week in reference to their 401k. And if they have their 401k, can they put it into an annuity? And so I think you answered it, but if you'll answer that again.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, you know, that's huge, because unfortunately, and I think we touched on this last week, but it's great to revisit. You know, this past year has been rough on a lot of folks. People have had to change jobs either voluntarily or involuntarily, unfortunately. But we still need to make sure we're taking care of those assets, right? The money that they've saved at that former employer. In most cases, it's in the form of a 401k. The reason it's important for folks to make sure they don't leave that sitting there at a former employer is because when you do that, you don't have a lot of control in terms of how that money is being invested and what your options are in terms of make sure you maximize that growth, but also keep it safe. And so what we recommend, again, first thing y'all need to do is reach out to one of these folks, is your financial professional. Let them know where you've got your monies, where that stuff is. They are not here to take advantage of you. Our goal and their goal is to make sure that you retire comfortably in the way that you would like to retire. So when we look at moving a 401k, when we move that out of that employer plan, we've now taken control of it. So there's any number of things you can do with those 401k dollars, one of which is leverage and utilize an annuity. And again, they're going to tell you which annuity is right. It might be a fixed annuity with some of that money. It might be a variable annuity. It might be an indexed annuity. But that is something that you can do inside of a qualified plan, which is where that money would stay, even though it's coming out of a 401k. But again, it allows you that opportunity not only to control it and decide how that money's going to grow for you, but you also now have access to some of that money. I don't think we touched on this last week. If we did, it was brief. But what a lot of people don't realize is that when you purchase an annuity, you have not given up control of that asset. You still have control of that money. And in most cases, even though you're signing up and you're committing to a 5, 6, 7, or maybe longer contract with that insurance company, you still have access in most cases to anywhere from a 5 to 10% free withdrawal privilege. That means there's no penalty. They're not going to penalize you because you're taking money out before you fulfilled that term. You can't do that in most cases in a 401k. So that's how we say control. It's control about access, and it's control about those investment opportunities and options.
Right. Yeah, that's extremely important for you to bring that up, Blake, because a lot of people are afraid, I can't get to my money. I'm gonna need my, but every anniversary period of your annuity, you have the availability or the ability to get up to 10% out of that annuity. And depending on the size of that annuity, that could be a pretty good chunk. So, hey, Blake, at some point, I want you to talk about variable annuities.
Sure.
All right. Absolutely. But Flo had a question.
Yeah, I think Matt Flo had a question.
Yeah, a question I want to ask is this: when it comes to the payout, when you're annuitizing, there's something about the interest rate on the payout. So I know they can get different companies going to offer different interest rate payout, and you're always looking for the highest payout. Could you explain that to the audience so they can understand what that is when they're ready to annuitize, make sure they get the best interest rate that is going to definitely help them in their retirement plan?
Absolutely. So when you, and this is kind of changed, this is really not kind of, this has changed a lot over the past, really 20 years in terms of turning that money into an income stream. In the old days, annuities really were, I'm gonna save this money, I'm gonna invest it, it's gonna grow, tax deferred, and then I'm going to what they call annuitize my money. And when we annuitize our money, at that point, we do give up some control of that asset. It is now turned into just a plain old income stream. My 200,000 that I've saved up and earned and invested, I'm going to annuitize that 200,000, and based on my age, gender, again, life expectancy, that's going to pay me X amount a year until I pass away. Some of that will be taxable, taxable. Some of it will be non-taxable potentially. But what's changed over the past, 15, 20 years is annuities have gotten much more competitive and have recognized the fact that not everybody wants to turn that income stream into just a straight payout, and I no longer have a lump sum asset available to me. So you have what's called withdrawal benefits, right? So a withdrawal benefit means I'm buying a rider on an indexed or variable annuity or a structured annuity if it's available, and that's going to guarantee me a lifetime's worth of payment. Very similar to the annuitization. However, when you leverage a living benefit rider, you are not giving up control of that underlying asset. So, Flo, when you talk about what's the best payout, how can we do that? Again, it's going to depend on their specific situation, their age, gender, how much they've saved up. But a lot of folks have gone down the path because they like to keep control of that money of using those guaranteed living benefits, which can range from anywhere to a 4.5% payout to a 7.25% payout. Again, based on their age, when they decide to turn that income on. I know that might be a lot, but I guess the overarching theme is just everybody needs to understand out there, you've got options. No two are the same for any particular client, right? Like I said earlier, just because your neighbor or your cousin or your brother did something that worked for them, that may or may not be the right fit for you. But just understand, you have tons of options. And these folks right here are going to recommend the best option for you and your particular circumstance and situation.
Great. Thanks for answering that question.
Hey, listen, question for you, Blake. Is there an age limit? What's the oldest a person could be that want to open up an annuity? Is there an age limit?
There are, and it's going to change again from carrier to carrier, and depending on the type of product. Generally speaking, your maximum issue age is around 85. You do have some folks that'll write up to 90, or maybe a few years after that. You do have some folks that'll only write up to 80. Sometimes the income riders, those guaranteed living withdrawal riders, are capped at so you may be able to buy the annuity up to 85, but you can't purchase the rider, beyond 75 or an age like that. So just generally speaking, think 80, 85 is where we're going to be, knowing that with certain carriers, you might have a few years above that. And depending on the features, it might be a little bit younger, but that's the average maximum issue age. And for a lot of folks going the other direction, minimum issue age can be birth or, 8. We see a lot of 18 and above.
Okay. Well, let me mention with World System Builder, we have not just annuities, but we have we have a couple of hundred different products, and somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 plus carriers of different types of products. All right, so we're kind of, our platform is really, really wide. All right, and out of all those carriers, I felt that Mr. Grant, with what he has to offer, it's more, just his personality is more homey, more, I want to sit down and talk with you. all right, that is that type of individual, and we could sit down and talk. And I thought this would be a great fit for this. I want to say show. It is a show. One of my friends watched it, and he said, "So I love the show." But it's, we're supposed to call it a stream cast or a podcast or some type of cast, as long as it's not on my arm, right? And I really enjoy what Blake has to say. Blake, tell us about variable annuities.
Sure thing. So just to start, it's still an annuity, right? So whether it's fixed, indexed, variable, structured, they all come under the umbrella of annuity. And the primary feature of annuities is that money inside of it, when it grows, it's going to grow tax deferred, right? So you're not going to pay any taxes on your earnings until some point in the future when you actually take that money back out and start to use it. If you think of a variable annuity this way, if we start on and I'm sorry, I don't know if I'll do this right based on the camera. I'm still not too camera and broadcast savvy. But think about it over here. If this is our more conservative client, like in a fixed annuity, right? I don't want any risk. I want to know exactly what I'm getting every year, okay? They start here. Then maybe they move over here to a fixed index annuity. I still want that premium guarantee. I don't want to take any risk, but I want to have the opportunity to do better than my fixed annuity, right? Because fixed annuity rates are static. But with an index annuity, I get opportunity for more growth. And then maybe think about that third step is where we find our variable annuity, right? So I'm taking steps in terms of opportunities for growth, but also how much downside am I willing to take and accept? So what a variable annuity is it is something, and I'm not even going to touch on riders. We can touch on that in a minute if you'd like. But variable annuities are really about, I want to be in the market. I want to have opportunities to invest in any number of different types of opportunities in the forms of, they're called sub-accounts, but they're most closely related to a mutual fund. So they're going to take some risk. And what happens in a variable annuity is, because we don't have that downside protection, you get to participate fully in that growth, right? But what that also means is that you are okay participating fully in potential downside or loss. It's still growing tax deferred, but because annuities are designed to be long-term solutions, we know that over the course of time, if we stay invested and we keep that money where it is, it may go up and down in a given year or over a course of year. But what we're doing is, over the course of time, even though we have some ups and downs, it's still moving up, right, in a growth direction. So a variable annuity, again, is kind of that third step up in terms of somebody who's comfortable with taking some downside exposure, but they still want that tax deferral. They still want that opportunity to have control, to have access to that money. Then you can also add, like you can on an index annuity, particular riders. Some have death benefit riders, but most of them these days have guaranteed income riders. So basically what they're saying is, hey, no matter what your underlying investment does, we're guaranteeing a certain amount of growth on your income stream. So when you go to turn it on, we didn't have to worry too much if we took some loss on the underlying sub-accounts, because we know that income base or that income floor has grown at a guaranteed rate over a certain amount of time. So again, not to overcomplicate things, think about a variable annuity as something that I'm willing to take some potential downside, but I want to be fully invested with that particular piece of my money. And then again, as with all the products, a lot of them are going to offer you different options, whether that be guaranteed income, guaranteed death benefit, based on your particular situation.
Wow. All right. Cheryl has a question here. Great information. I love that information. I understand variable now better than I did before myself. But Cheryl Grant has a question. Mm-hmm. Can a retired person roll over a 403B into a tax-free Roth IRA? And she's wishful thinking. Could you answer that question, Cheryl?
You know what? I can't. And not because I'm not allowed to. I'm just not sure. In terms of taking a 403B money and moving it into a Roth. Mm-hmm. What I will say about Roth is a lot of, whether or not anybody, whether it's coming out of the 403B or just my savings account, whatever, in terms of what you can and how much you can invest into a Roth IRA, it's really based on your annual income. So, and not being a tax professional, I don't want to steer you down the wrong path. Let me just say this, that generally speaking, you can take a 403B and move it into various qualified plans. But again, that's probably where you're going to have to talk to one of these folks or your CPA to make sure that you can do that. And we do it right within, obviously, the certain parameters that the IRS allows on an annual basis.
Yeah.
That sounds like the next week show, you guys. We need to go over IRA.
I know, right? Let me mention this, is that with the 403B, like a 401k, you can roll that into an annuity.
Annuity.
Yeah.
All right. That's extremely important to understand, Ms. Grant, is that you can roll that into an annuity. So that's very valuable. I'd be interested in knowing from Ms. Grant her main interest in a Roth. What's your main interest in a Roth compared to other vehicles that you may know about? What's your main interest? All right,
and free.
And
I was going to say, I know what it is.
That's for Sherelle, right? We're going to get her in the conversation now. And Blake, I heard you mention a couple of times about structured annuities. Yeah. All right. So you mentioned fixed, indexed, variable, and structured distinctly. Yeah. So what is a structured?
Yep. So again, all these insurance companies, they're continuously trying to evolve and make more and more customer friendly products and solutions. And again, like when you all make recommendations, no two particular products or solutions fit everybody. So just because somebody is okay with a variable annuity, they like that growth, they're okay with some downside. The structured annuity, otherwise known as a variable indexed annuity, or a RILA, registered index linked annuity, you may see that thrown around, is kind of a hybrid between an index and a variable annuity. And what I mean by that is this. In a variable annuity, your money is actually in the market. It's participating in the market. When you are in a fixed indexed or a structured annuity, you are investing in crediting strategies that are not in the market, but are tracking performance of certain indices, such as the S&P 500. And what you can choose in a structured annuity is really how much loss you're comfortable with. So most of them, and again, I'm going to speak generally, most of them will come with either what's called a 10% floor or a 10% buffer. And what that means is this. In a 10% floor, it means you as an investor, as an individual client, cannot lose any more than 10% in a given year. So even if your crediting strategies are down 20, 30, 40%, the maximum loss you can take is 10%. The trade-off for that, because you are willing to take some of that risk, is you have much more opportunity for growth in terms of higher rates, higher participations, higher caps in those types of annuities than you would in a traditional fixed indexed annuity. The main difference, traditional fixed index, you have a 0% floor. In these structured annuities, we're kind of telling you, or you're telling us, I don't want to take any more than 10%. That's with a floor. The buffer works similarly. However, the insurance company will take the first 10% of loss, and then you will take all of the loss after that 10%. So same example, S&P 500 is down, let's say 25%. The insurance company is going to take the first 10, and you would take that next 15. If the S&P 500 is only down 5, you take no loss. The insurance company is eating that. So again, it's not to say one is better than the other. It's to say you've got options, and it's really going to depend on your tolerance and how much predictability you want in your in terms of being able to take some loss. Again, remembering we're okay taking some loss because it's going to give us that much more opportunity on that upside potential.
Man, that's awesome. That's powerful. That's powerful. All right, what other questions do we have out there? Is it time for a commercial break?
No, that doesn't happen next week, buddy boy. But I want to share with everyone what we offer. This is great information that Grant is giving us. You guys follow it with that. But what we have here is this. You know, these books I've been telling you about. Well, we have different language, not just English. We also have Vietnamese. We also have Chinese. We also have Spanish. And guess what? French is coming real soon. And in order to get these books right here, they're $4. So if you want to contact myself or Anthony Murray for your book, and tell you what, the information that Grant is sharing today, we have some of the information here. So you can definitely learn yourself some of the stuff that he's discussing with you now. So these are 4 books. Now, if you want to take the class, we also offer this, the workbook. The workbook is the companion with this book here. And guess what? You follow with the instructor in this book here. So you're going to follow with the instructor. And guess what? You answer the questions and you're going to have so much fun. It's like almost being in kindergarten. I ain't going to say school because you have more fun in kindergarten. You're going to be following with the instructor in this book. The website to get this, the workshops, financial education workshops, is www.worldsystembuilder.com/WS-USA. We have these workshops free for you. Come get the workshops, pay $4 for your classes. The workshops are 2 o'clock, 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So guys, make sure and it's virtual. You can just log in, call, get to that website, and you're going to have to ask, it's going to ask you who invited you. You can put my name, Mad Flo, or you can put Anthony as the person who invited you. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone who's on here now. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the workshops. We're having workshop 1 today. So we're starting over today with workshop 1. These are the books, guys. Awesome. And Blake, we're going to make sure you get one, even though you already got all this information. But guess what? You can give it as a gift to someone else if you want. But we're going to leave it with these books here.
I can always learn more. I love learning. I love seeing how people do things different. Again, we've touched on it earlier. There is no one size fits all. So I appreciate that. That's awesome. I look forward to that.
Always be learning. That's it. Always be learning.
There you go.
Hey, something I want to throw out there to everybody. We need you to tell us what financial topics you want us to talk about. We will bring in other professionals that specialize in that field along with us, because we don't know everything. They don't know everything either, but they specialize. They specialize. Like, all right, so we specialize in this area, but there's certain areas like taxes. One day we're going to have a couple of tax folks come in here. I had somebody over the week ask me about tax. I said, I'm not a tax professional. I cannot give you any advice in that area. I said, but I tell you what, why don't you join us on our podcast, and we'll go from there, because one of these days we will have a couple of tax professionals or a tax professional that can answer some of these questions as it relates to your finances. This is important. And guys, if you're not getting your kids involved in these podcasts with you, you're doing a disservice. You've got to get them involved. You've got to get them involved. Why? Because they're not learning this information in the school system. And it's unfortunate. The majority of school systems will not cover this. I majored in insurance and real estate, and they did not cover this.
And we just need to let people know that as you're having these summer programs, that all of us are available to participate and provide your youth with information. So if you need us, our contact information is there, and we would be glad to participate with any program that you have during the summer and provide some basic information to young people in reference to financial workshops.
Hey, I like this. Ms. Pam Jones. Awesome. Hey, Tanya, did you read that? Read that for us.
Yeah. Types of insurance products are utilized with mortgage loans may be a good topic. And she's absolutely right. So we can look at doing that. But you know what? We've been also getting a lot of questions in reference to that the government is giving away these PPP loans for people that are self-employed. I think someone looked at our show when we had these self-employed individuals on. We were talking about budgeting. So maybe we can look at that also as part of what we're doing. And with the taxes, you were talking about taxes a few minutes ago. The tax laws are changing so much
rapidly.
As the president is putting in new things, it is forcing our taxes to change and even hold up the process of us processing our taxes for 2020 because of the number of changes that are coming in. And what I heard from one of my tax people is that, she had to go back to school all over again and wanted to wait a little longer until, all of these new things that are coming out overnight, finally slow down so that we can get our taxes in. But that was that's a great question, Miss Pam Jones. And one of the other things I saw a question that Pam did ask Blake was she wanted you to repeat what were the 3 types of annuities that you mentioned a few minutes ago.
Sure. And actually, there's a couple more really. But so if we go kind of conservative and up the ladder, right, you got your fixed annuity. You got your fixed indexed annuity. And then even though we kind of skipped over and back, I'd probably say the next one up the ladder would be that structured annuity because you have some predictability on loss there. Mm-hmm. Then you've got your variable annuities, right, which are going to actually invest in the market and you're okay with some ups and downs. And then the 5th one that we touched on early would be that immediate annuity. There's probably something I'm missing because there's always some little, somebody's always working on something, but those are going to be your 5 most common that you would see, again, generally speaking, that you're going to see utilized in any kind of investment plan and portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, we thank you so much for being with us again this week, Blake. Mighty Blake, you have done an awesome job.
Mighty Blake.
Mighty Blake.
We got to get you a cape, man.
Oh my gosh. Whatever y'all want to do. I really enjoy it. This is great. I love that you all are doing this. I think this is hugely important, especially what you are touching on in terms of making sure our kids are educated in this regard. I think this is awesome. I am happy to join. I do not want to wear out my welcome at all, but anytime y'all need anything, you just let me know. And I'm here. I love the energy. I love really what you guys are doing. And I'll leave you with this. I'm a big motivational guy. I'll listen to all kinds of different people and read different books. And this is something I've been trying to, as a mantra, trying to focus on lately, because again, the times are tough. We're getting back to normal, but we're still facing a lot of challenges. And it's this: if you focus on the good gets better. Mm-hmm. I'll leave you with that and appreciate the time. And anytime you want me back, I'm more than happy.
All right.
Man, powerful. Mighty Blake.
You'll return.
All right, I'm gonna get nicknames for y'all next time. All right.
I already got mine, man.
You got Mad Flow. Yeah, we got Mad Flow. All right, Anthony, Tanya, I'm gonna work on that.
All right, thank you. Thanks so much.
All right, y'all be good.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So where are we available?
There.
Huh?
Oh, I wanted to tell the audience something, but go ahead.
Yeah, we are available to help you anywhere in the country. I'm licensed and I don't know how many states now. And every time I turn around, I have somebody reaching out to me from another state. Then I get licensed in that state. Just recently got licensed in Delaware and did something up there. And so it doesn't matter where you live. If you live in any of the 50 United States, we can help you. All right. Now, as far as the workshops, we said Eastern time, but they do have Pacific and Central time that's also showed. So you can let us know where you live and we'll give you those times if you want to attend the workshops. They are invaluable and they're free. All right, they're free. So that's very, very important. I can't say that we have something for everybody, but we have something for almost everybody where we can help. And I tell you what, I forget the young lady's name, Sherelle Grant. Man, oh Sherelle, man, we love you. We love you. Powerful questions. Thank you for those questions. And I saw our friend, what's his name? He's with us every week.
Kelly.
Kelly.
Mike Kelly. He came on earlier.
Yep. And Sherelle, thank you so much. Hey, look, you're more than welcome for the information. What we need to do, we need to get this information out, but we also want to let people know about all things relevant media. We want to encourage you to support all things relevant media. All right. They can use your donations. All right. You can Cash App. All things relevant media. They have an address. They have a Cash App. Hey, look, you don't have to send them $1,000, but $1,000 won't hurt. You follow what I'm saying? You send whatever's on your heart.
And if you want to advertise your business, that's going to be another option for people. So they can also send money if they want to advertise their business. That is coming very soon. So they can look out for that. So all things relevant media is the bomb. They have an awesome platform, and that's why we're here coming to you live every Friday at 1:00. And we'll be back on next Friday at 1 with some awesome topics. And we're going to share those with you probably on Friday morning. When our show goes up, you'll know what our topic is. And as we're getting better with Facebook, we're going to let you go through us individually what we're going to do. And yes, our show is available on YouTube. So you can go to All Things Relevant Media or Black Media, I believe it is.
It's ATR.
ATR.
Yeah, ATR. Andre, actually, I got Andre's information. I will send it to you, Andre.
But yes, we are there. If you go to YouTube and put in Financial Sins, the show will come up, and then you'll be able to see all the other shows that All Things Relevant has too. So
yeah, it's ATR Black Media Network. That's on YouTube. ATR Black Media Network. Hey, listen, this is valuable information. I don't care what your age is. This is valuable. If you grab this information, you'll be able to help out your teacher in school. You'll be able to help them out. All right.
And guys, I want you to know this in the audience as well. You can only teach your children what you know. That's all you can do. You can only teach your children what you know. If you don't know it, how can you teach it to them? You learn it, and from generation to generation, you'll be passing that on. But it's even better if you having them to come on our show with you. But you can only teach what you know. So guys, get the information, learn it. Remember, we have these books here. Go to our workshop, get the workshops. It's only 2 hours long. That would be valuable, the most important 2 hours you ever spent in your lifetime. That's 8 hours. So guys, do that. Remember, you can only teach your children what you know. If you don't know it, guess what? They don't know it. That's so right. Let's get the information out there. It was an awesome time. We got about 30 seconds left. ATR is doing something that's never been done in Savannah before. I mean, it's awesome what's happening. We're getting information out there. You guys have an absolutely fabulous day. Anthony and Tanya, you my guys.
Hey, I love y'all. I love y'all. There's just something special about you guys. And even though Matt Flo says she's not mad, well, we still questioning that. But
I'm not crazy. I am mad.
Oh yeah, she's not crazy. She's not crazy. She is awesome.
I am mad.
And you know what, guys, this is your show. This is your show. We're here because of you, not just us. And we're learning as we go along too. I mean, some valuable information. We're learning this together. There's no big eyes or little U's on this show. There's us, you and I. And this is your show. We want to thank you for being with us today. And we look forward to having you next week. Tanya, why don't you close us out with something?
See you next week. Bye.
Oh boy, that was quick.
That was nice and simple.